This is episode 40. Fucking hell, that's loud, isn't it? This is episode 40 of the What's the Buttons podcast, you cunts. And we would have, and we could have done it without you. So, sit down. Oh, you're already farting on the fucking... You're going to pick that mic up at all today, or you're just going to fucking... I've got Eminem in front of me, fucking hood up with his cap. I seem like you have absolutely no energy whatsoever, and it's very boring. It's very boring.
Yo, Slim Shady.
Fucking hell! It's like trying to get blood out of a fucking stone. You're gonna liven up a bit.
What do you want?
I want you to be alive. It's fucking 12 minutes past 3 in the afternoon on a Friday.
Jokes, mate.
Fuck your jokes.
Fuck you.
Episode 40 is up to a banger. That's mad, isn't it? When you think about it. That's a lot of episodes for 2 bellends in a box.
Correct.
It's great.
Never used to be in a box.
What do you mean? What do you mean, never used to be in a box?
We used to be in some swanky little place. Had its own bathroom. Could have had a shower if I wanted.
This has its own bathroom.
No, it's got a toilet.
And it's got a shower.
Has it?
Yes.
Of course it has.
How have you not seen that?
No, I don't pay attention. The shoes it's pissing. We had our own kitchen.
There's a bedroom behind you. There's a kitchen in there.
There is, isn't there?
It's all the same.
I don't know. It just felt special over there.
I know. Everything. The problem is that I don't want to turn it into a proper like podcast office type with all your shit. See, that is the epitome of what vapors look like. The way you've just fucking shoved that in your mouth.
I did it on purpose to pretend I was
like a blood gorged bellend. It's very silly. What flavour you got in that?
Same flavour I always have.
Well, go on, tell them.
Strawberry and watermelon with ice.
Oh God, you're so cool.
Never claimed to be cool. Just needed to give up smoking.
I can't be bothered to turn this place into the podcast room that we had, purely because when it comes to moving, I've got to pack it all away again. So I'm just not going to do it until we move, and then I'll set up a proper place.
Yes, sir.
Not that anyone gives a fuck. No one can fucking see it.
They will. Well, this is part of the problem, isn't it? We want to set up GoPros. We want to do little clips on TikTok-y, on Instagram-y, all them ones.
Fuck Instagram.
But to do that, we need some sort of a presentable
Yeah,
thing.
otherwise it just would look a mess, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, you see them on TikTok. They've got like tables. They ain't holding their mics. They've got stands for it. But obviously we can't just drill into this basketed...
into this basket table. There's literally nothing to set a stand up. It's so annoying. Obviously you could get like the floor ones, but I'm not having like a 6-foot stand next to us with the mic dangling down.
Well, my old pal Ryan did say, why not get some mic stands and then like weigh them down?
Ryan can fucking shut up,
Ryan's
can't he?
Smart.
I don't give a fuck. No, we can't. You can't just put weights on them.
Why?
Because you need... Why? What do you mean weights?
Well, because if you put these into a mic stand that's not nailed down, it's just going to tip over, isn't it?
No, you just get a mic stand for this mic.
All right. Well, how much
of which you can get. They're not expensive, but they're little.
Well, why haven't we got them then?
Because they're little, and you'd have to sit there talking like this. And we ain't sitting here for an hour and a half, 2 hours talking like this. This works until we get a... Because all the other stands, the ones that are decent and that I was looking at, they screw into the fucking table.
Okay.
Oh, you do my fucking editing, you know. What have we got today? There's your intro. What do you want to kick off with?
That's your show, bro. Crack on,
Oh,
bro.
fucking...
Ooh-wee.
Let's bang on about Valheim for a little bit.
Go ahead.
You've been playing it more than me, you cunt. You fucking go ahead.
No, your show. You start it off and I'll jump in.
I'm really enjoying it.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
You said last week about Valheim. What did you say?
What?
It's fucking shit. I hate it. I played it as rubbish.
Oh shit! Yeah, we haven't done a pod since then, have we?
No. We had a little go together, didn't we?
I stuck to my words and I give it another go.
He does give it a go. I'll give him that.
And it is possibly one of the best games I've ever played. It's basically, if you've been listening to the pod from day dot, you will remember the episode of when we first started talking about No Man's Sky and how I would sit there and go, oh, it's wank, I tried it, blah, 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 blah. And then for the next 5 episodes after that one was hyping up No Man's Sky and have been since. Well, this is basically the same thing. Valheim is absolutely incredible, and it is so much fun. When I tell you that me and Ash spent collectively, 2.5, 3 hours doing absolutely fuck all, and it is possibly the funnest thing I have done on a video game. It is so much fun.
It's great.
I've been, admittedly, World of Warcraft has just had a massive update, so I've sort of been drawn to that a bit. But I'm very conscious of the fact that I haven't played Valheim for a couple of days, which I think is a good thing. When I'm sitting there going, I haven't played this, I need to jump on it, so I will. But I can't, like you described, as a survival light. It's exactly that. I said in the last episode how I hated building mechanics so fucking much, and this obviously has a lot of building mechanics in it, and it's so good. Oh,
it's like I said, there's something about it that makes you want to build. I don't know what it is.
This game doesn't punish you. That's the best thing about it. This is a survival game, but you are not punished for making mistakes and for build. So the repairing your gear is free. When you die, you drop all your loot, but you can go back and collect it. But unlike other games, if you die again on your way to collect it, that loot doesn't disappear. It stays there. You can die however many times you fucking want. Your loot will still be there until you go and pick it up. And then when you're building, the materials you need to build a lot of stuff are very easy to get hold of. And if you fuck something up, most games, when you place something and you dismantle it, you only get a fraction of the material back. You might get 75% back of, say you put down, it costs 10 wood to do this, you might get back 7. So you've got to be meticulous at some points with what you do. This, you put something down, however much it costs, you break it down, you get the exact same amount back. So building is a piece of piss because you can really experiment with it.
And tell them about our journey, how it went.
Fucking it's so stupid. You can turn your game into a server. It's like Minecraft basically, where you got a seed. Everyone's got their own seed, and Ash turned his into a server that I could join. Obviously he's on Xbox and I'm on PC. It is cross-play between the two. It's a bit buggy, but lest we forget, this is a game preview, so this ain't even out yet. But I joined Ash's server, and then naturally, first thing I did was raid his camp. Took all of his shit.
Stole all my resources.
Yeah.
And then lied about it.
I didn't lie.
You did. I said, where's this? How many have you took? And you was like, 5? You fucking prick.
It's ironic, I'm not even in that troll hide shit anymore. When I kill a troll, I don't need the hide. It just goes and sits in a box. But I robbed him up. I geared up, and we proceeded to build a ship, because we could both make shitty little rafts with a sail on it. But Ash unlocked the blueprints to make a nice big, what would you call it?
It's called a carve. That's what the boat is actually called. It's called a carve. I needed some bronze nails, of which I broke down some of my bronze and made some bronze nails of 10, I think I needed. And then crafted the carve.
Basically looks like a Viking ship, doesn't it? Big sail, but not as big as a proper ship.
I see a Reddit post today. Dude, where's my carve? That's why I remembered what it's called. It's so funny.
And we made one of them. And there's different biomes in your servers. So you have like the swamp, the fucking mistlands, the I don't know, what's the first one that you land in? The
meadow.
The meadows, the Black Forest, places like that. Basically, our plan was to get to the swamp, which is where Ash's next boss was that he had to defeat. And our only way of getting there was traversing the high seas in this boat, and we made the mistake of keeping all our gear with us, because this was a treacherous journey.
Despite me saying to you, don't take all your good shit with you just in case, I continued to take absolutely every piece of bronze equipment and tools that I had.
I took everything other than a shield.
Let's be honest, a quite frankly pathetic little boat. Like, no, it's one step up from floating on a plank of wood.
Yep.
It's just got a decent sail and a bit of length to it, but it's by no means a galleon.
Understand that when you sail in this game, there is wind and there is wind direction. And if you are sailing against the wind, it is just like real life. You are not fucking going anywhere.
No, you're going backwards.
So you have to paddle that shit. And let me tell you, listeners, the entire journey was against the wind.
Yeah. Paddle we did.
It was fucking annoying.
It was a long way.
And what did we, because it was Ash was on the rudder. He was in control of the ship, and I was holding fast on the sail. I was just standing holding onto that. And at one point I jumped off the boat, scared the shit out of myself, because there's stamina in this game, and if you run out of stamina when you're swimming, you begin to drown. So I was panicked because we were moving at quite a pace, and we were sailing for what, about an hour?
It was a long time.
Close to an hour.
I don't know where the swamp is. So I picked a direction, decided that direction felt like the wrong direction. So after travelling that way, 180 degrees I turned and went a different way. So I decided in my own head, a swamp logistically would probably be south. So we headed south, no idea where we're going. There's fog of war all over the map, which means you can't see the map until you've gone there.
Yep.
So we're just, sailing down, looking for something that doesn't look like a forest or a meadow.
Yep, and sure enough, we found exactly what we were looking for.
And then, it was what's that blue thing?
We're sailing, and the swamp trees render in. We go, oh, fucking hell, there it is. We found it. We finally found it.
Bearing in mind that it tells you when a new day starts on this, and obviously you can tell when the sun rises and the sun sets. We'd sailed through the darkness.
Yeah.
And the sunshine and the darkness.
That was cool, though, because when we were sailing through the darkness, I held out a torch, like a flaming torch, while I was holding onto the sails, and the torch effect, like the flame, it weren't just a static flame, it was following the direction, which I thought it looked very cool. But yeah, we rocked up on this swamp, and there's a beach hut. It's just this hut on stilts in the water.
Well, we were very excited. We were like giddy school children. Oh, there's something new. I think that's the swamp. That's the swamp. What's that blue thing?
You have to understand that me and Ash have done virtually no research into this game. Little tips and tricks, but when it comes to actual areas of interest and enemies and stuff like that, I think I'm correct in saying that we haven't really looked at anything. So a lot of the shit that we're doing is new to us. So we've seen this beach hut. We're happy that we can see land because the fucking seas are rough. And this hut we start sailing towards, and all of a sudden, this big gargantuous fucking blue ghost thing appears out of the hut. Terrified. We were absolutely terrified.
Well, I wasn't. I was just like, we won't go over there then.
I fucking was.
Until you screamed, he's coming this way!
Basically what happened, I have a habit of when I panic, I attack. And I panicked and I shot an arrow through this ghostly figure. Naturally, the arrow went straight through it, but, which I find stupid, it went through the ghost, and because it went through the ghost, it aggroed the ghost, to which it does not have to swim because it's a ghost. And it headed towards us, and sure enough, we were heading against the wind.
Yeah, screaming at me, go, move, go. I can't go nowhere. All I can do is paddle at the speed of paddling. I put the sails up, the wind's blowing the other way. If anything, it's fucking blowing us towards the cunting thing.
We're terrified, absolutely fucking terrified. And then it comes over, it starts hitting us. So Ash starts trying to attack it. I'm shooting arrows at it, doing nothing. It's just fucking going through it. This thing is hitting like a tank. Oh, it's damaging us like a motherfucker.
It was high up as well.
Yeah, you couldn't fucking swing for it, and it smacked us off of the ship.
Well, it didn't. I took one mighty hoorah. I got it. I jumped up because it was smashing up the boat, and I didn't want the boat to go under, so I thought I've got to try and do something.
It smacked me off the ship.
So I jumped in the air to hit it, and as I jumped in the air to hit it, I jumped too far and landed in the sea. So we're both in the sea at this point, swimming against the stamina bar depleting before we just drowned anyway to shore, which wasn't far away. Shore was very close.
You're talking like 5 meters away from the shore. It was right fucking there. And
we're both swimming as fast as we can, screaming at each other down the mics while this wraith follows us.
And then we died. Just straight up died. I got hit
everything
and got sent, and then Ash got sent. Basically, we died at the same time and just watched both our loot bags just plop. And
they plopped on the beach. It's so painful. It was like we was that close to getting onto land and possibly being able to sprint away. But
yep. And the most upsetting part. So the way this game works is. You can build beds and homes and things like that, and you can set it as a spawn point. And what you can do is, if you don't want to spawn back at your bed, you can hit save, and it will spawn you where you've saved the game. Now, this doesn't work on water, because if you die, it's unfair for the game to just spawn you back in water, because you're just constantly going to keep dying. So, our spawn, or certainly my spawn, was locked to the bed that I made in your base, which was over an hour away from where we had sailed across the water, and I have absolutely zero resources. And let me add one more thing to this. Because I was robbing up Ash's gaff, he can put down this totem thing, and when he activates it, it means that only the person that owns that server and that base, or whoever activated the totem, can open any of the doors, any of the chests, anything that's been built there. And Ash had activated this just before we set sail. So when I spawned back in my bed, I could not do anything.
Couldn't get out.
I couldn't get out. I couldn't look into any of my shit.
Made.
Yeah, I had to fuck it.
I only put that down because he just kept stealing stuff. And I got some valuable items I didn't want going to miss because I didn't know what they were worth yet. And he kept stealing, so I popped it down. I didn't expect to be back there empty-handed.
It was unbelievable. I was so angry, and it was getting rather late.
It was a funny angry though, wasn't it? It weren't like an. It
was hilarious,
angry.
But then the mission begun. We were determined.
We decided, but bearing in mind, all my tools are gone. I'll look back to fucking wood tools, you know, and all my bronze tools are gone. I've got no hammers and pickaxes.
And because I'm in Ash's server, I lose my shit if I go back to my server. I don't get to keep it. So, and we didn't know if when I've died in his server, all my loot that's on the floor, if I go back to my server and then go back and then come back, if my shit's still going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So
made the executive decision to try again, but bear in mind, our boat was an hour away at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
So we had to make another one. But guess who didn't have any bronze resources to create a carve? I guess we're sailing on down there on a pallet.
Yeah, literally imagine a pallet with a sail on it.
But this way, it took so long to get back there. Reese fucked off while I was sailing to go and change the bed.
It was unbelievable how long that took, and it wasn't even like there was no drama on the way. So again, we're against the fucking wind.
Yeah, there's something. I swear that's just a bug for me because that happened. Well, I'll get into it.
It's bollocks. But it's mapped out as to where we are, where our deaths are. We know where our shit is. We know where that fucking beach hut is. So again, another hour sailing in the storms with fuck all. I'm literally standing in my pants. I got fucking nothing.
We're both just in our pants. We got no items.
Literally nothing.
No health or stamina because we haven't eaten any food.
Yeah, because we got nothing on us. So we eventually make it.
As Ian Beale famously said once, I got nothing
left. That was basically it. And we made it. We made it to the island where the swamp was, where our shit was, and we see that beach hut. Oh my lord, were we terrified?
Saw it again. You were like, take a wide berth, take a wide berth.
Fucking Wraith was sitting there. That's what it's called. Is a Wraith.
Because we're getting closer to it, and Reese has decided to start googling it just because we're getting a bit panicky now. And he's like, it's all right. The Wraiths only come out at night, and it's bright sunshine. It's the morning. Well, why is that fucking Wraith sitting in that shed then?
And Google was telling me the Wraiths only spawn at night and then they despawn at dawn. But on some very rare occasions, they can spawn during the day. No, and sure enough, this was the rare occasion where it fucking spawned during the day.
He wasn't even in the shed, was he? He was on our fucking
He was right on our fucking loot.
Attacking deer.
So yeah, imagine this. The fucking beach hut where he is, there's a good 100-metre gap between that beach hut and our fucking loot. And for whatever reason, this ghost that was presiding in this beach hut had wandered over to our fucking loot and was attacking goblins and shit right deer. On top of our loot.
It was like he was protecting his items, his loot.
We were fucking terrified. We made it very close to this loot, and the issue that we were having is when I was joining Ash's server, there was a lot of yo-yoing going on, so the servers weren't quite matching up. So I would be floating in the air for him, and on me, Ash would be in the ground. There was a lot of terrain that weren't rendering in for both parties. So there was a lot of water and lakes and shit where I could, in my screen, it was land that I could run over. On Ash's screen, it's a lovely fucking river. So it made it very difficult when we got to our loot, because for him, everything was on land, and for me, everything was underwater. So it was very difficult.
I'll pull it up to this little bank here, and I'll run down the beach and get the stuff. He was like, "What land? There is no land." I was like, "We're pulling up to the land now." He's like, "No, it's just water."
Yeah.
I was like, "No, it ain't." So he stayed in the boat, and I jumped off and done a bit of reconning. And we managed to make it down there. The Wraith slowly fucked off, and we got our gear, and we were gassed. We were hyped up, man. You saved it and fucked off, and oh no, you started helping me back, didn't you?
Yeah, literally. What happened? So I googled it, and apparently you could hit / reset spawn, and because what happened is I logged out and then logged back in, hoping that it would bring me back to the beds. But what it did is it just brought me back exactly to where our loot was. So I was like, fuck, I've now got my loot back, but we have to travel back, and we're stuck on the swamps. Wraith's knocking about with absolutely zero fucking idea of what we're doing. And yeah, it turns out I couldn't. We had to make the journey back, which was arduous.
Yeah,
it was a bit rough.
It was rough, but we were celebrating. We felt like we'd had a victory. All we'd done is found out where the swamp was, died, went back and got our gear and went home. But it felt like we'd gone on a fucking adventure. We had gone on an adventure.
And then we sailed home, and then I got home a lot quicker because the rendering fucked up. And
he
Ash
ran home, and I had to go along the sea.
Ash was fucking sailing through a lake, and I was running on top of it.
Before we got home, though, we took a risk. We saw a big island-looking motherfucker with things on it.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Jumped on that.
Yeah.
Smashed some rocks off the back of it.
Barnacles.
Yeah, some barnacles. We thought, this is a bit weird. The fucking island started moving and shaking.
Yep.
We jumped off in panic. Reese, I don't know what happened to him. He just got spun off in the sea.
Fucking stayed on top of it. I couldn't jump.
And he lost Discord chat. And he just texts me, "Fucking come and get me." He's just bobbing up and down in the ocean.
Well, if you're in the water, when you start moving, you start draining your stamina. But you can tread water without draining any stamina. So what happened was we smashed these barnacles off. Because I thought they were eggs originally, and then we got on. It comes up like they're barnacles.
We took a risk there, though. That was brave. It was
a big risk, and we smashed 2 barnacles off, and then this turtle thing or whatever it fucking was, because it just looked like a landmass.
Yeah,
it started roaring and then dived down into the water. And like you say, Ash jumped off, and I panicked and stayed perfectly still, and the animal disappeared, and I was just fucking floating. But then the Discord dropped out. Ash starts sailing away. And I was like, no, because I couldn't do anything.
I thought you was a lost cause. I didn't know that you could tread water. And
I'd used all of my stamina from trying to fucking get off of this rock.
Because sailing in this game ain't like GTA where you just press accelerate and go. You got to paddle, or you got to set your sails and the wind direction. So it ain't just like a case of turning around and go and get him.
Yeah,
it's
a painful
ordeal.
experience if you're doing it fucking.
And you can't just jump on it. You have to go up the ladder as well.
Yeah. I found that out the hard way. If you come off your raft or boat or whatever into the water, there's ladders on certain points that you have to use to climb up. So if you run out of stamina, you're gonna start drowning before you fucking find that ladder. But yeah, we made it, and
you made it back.
Made it fucking back. Literally, we got to. Ash was seeing a nice river, saying, "Let's take the risk and go through that." The river weren't there for me; it was just a fucking mountain. So I stayed on the raft and started going through this lake, this river that I could not see. I went under the map, and I was with Ash, and then I jumped off of the raft, and then it pinged me into the sky, and then on top of this mountain. So I was like, oh, fuck it, I'm running back. I ran back and then logged out. Ran back, grabbed my shit, and then went.
I managed to make it back, finally, after that ordeal. And then the base got attacked. And I got attacked by fucking all sorts of monstrosities, smashing all my stuff up.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
But it was quite the adventure. But I'm pleased to report I went back there on my own. Managed to make it back to the swamp. I took fuck all. I took leather pants is all I took.
Yep.
And the exact amount of resources to create one working crafting station thing, and enough to create a teleporter.
Yeah.
So now I have a teleporter down in the swamp with a semi-built base. It's not semi-built. It's just a fucking box. So I can come and go from there as I please. And I've been exploring the swamp.
Which is exactly what you want, and that's exactly what I need to do.
It's fucking terrifying. It's dangerous. And, yeah, there's a lot of dangerous things there.
I think it's... So a lot of the enemies on this game are actually very easy to combat because you have the... what's it called? The...
Parry?
You have the parry and the... What's the invincible?
Invis frames.
The invis frames. So if you, like Elden Ring, if you roll into the enemy, or if you're rolling, then any attacks can't damage you. I haven't tried it with bosses yet.
It's only good if you've got the stamina, and your stamina drains quick.
Yeah, you got to be smart about it.
Like the swamp, there's blobs in the swamp. And
I've seen
they
them.
poison the shit out of you. And the eels, they're no fucking joke. The Draga are a joke. They're so hard.
Apparently, there's like a massive enemy that's hidden as tree roots.
Right.
That fucking comes out of the ground and starts attacking you.
Brilliant. I haven't come across that. I've been in a dungeon. It's quite different from the burial chambers.
I have seen what the boss is in the swamps. It don't look fun.
No.
It really don't look fun.
I found out with the bosses, so I have got the boss marker down.
Yeah, they don't look good.
No, I mean, yeah.
You might need my help with this one.
Yeah, I mean, the swamp itself is hard enough. It's terrifying because it's always raining as well.
Yeah, it's always fucked.
So you're always wet, and when you're wet, your stamina goes down quicker.
And but getting back quick to the enemies, like when I first see a troll, that thing fucked me up, and they were so difficult in my head. But once you told me about the invis frames, so fucking easy because you just roll into them and do all that shit. And
if you do fuck it up and they hit you, it don't half hurt. You can only take one or two of them.
Yeah, two max, I think. Especially for me. But with the wraiths, obviously, those things, because of what the ordeal we went through, I fucking googled how to combat them because I was like, I'm not getting to the swamp and being fucked up by a wraith without knowing how to kill the thing. And it's as simple as just parrying it. If you parry the thing, apparently they go down really quick, and they have only one ability, so they use the exact same attack on the exact same frequency, so you know exactly what's going to happen, and they are extremely easy once you know how to parry.
I'm just going to be forever scarred from that experience, so I won't ever feel comfortable.
I knew it was going to happen as well. There was a bit in the back of my mind where I was like, we're sailing this far, and we know that the swamps are dangerous. I was like, we're going to get fucked. The minute that we land, it's going to be pandemonium. And it fucking was. It was a nightmare.
I could do with your help, to be honest, because I'm at this awkward position now where obviously you can't take minerals back through the teleporter.
Through a teleporter, yeah.
And I've found obviously new minerals, so I'm like digging up iron and stuff now. But I can't do nothing with it. So I've got a chest full of iron, and I've took
Well, you can.
Well, that's what I mean. I've built a
forge and shit like that.
Yeah, I've built a smelter.
You have to do all your shit there.
But I have to, like I say, I have to build it all, and I don't want to. I have to build it in a place where I can.
You need to go and get the resources first, and then come back.
Yeah,
but it's very time consuming.
It's time consuming, but I also don't. I still want to have my main base be my main base, but I just want to have this as a little side piece, so because I don't want to have to traipse all this fucking ore all the way back up there every time to. Because I see on Reddit a lot of people do that. A lot of people have like 6 people. And they'll just do like ore runs, and people will come in to help you just run stuff back to your base, which is very cool, and it's just a cool
which I'm all for that shit because I went and did some ore farming myself, and I built a little cart that you could.
Funny story.
Ore is fucking heavy. All right, you have a weight limit of 300, like Fallout and a lot of games, Skyrim, you name it. You have a weight limit, and 300 is that fucking limit. Go on.
PSA, I think that's the right word. Acronym.
Is it a PSA?
Yeah, public service announcement.
Oh.
That trader, he sells something that can increase your carry rate.
I haven't found the trader yet.
Neither have I.
I know that so there's, FYI, there's one trader in every server that does not move location, has a force field around it that's invisible. So if you're with the trader, no enemies will attack past a certain
He's only in one location?
He's only in one location.
Fucking hell.
He does not move location, and if you are within, is it 200 meters or something, he will come up on the map.
I was gonna say, how the fuck are you supposed to find him?
He will pop up on the map when you're within a certain distance, but he never moves location. So a lot of people build a portal right there.
Makes sense. Because I've got so much stuff to sell as well.
Yeah, man. But there's the fucking
pro tip for you as well with what story you're about to tell. That little cart thing, if you roll, you can get out of the cart. You haven't got to.
Oh yeah.
If you just roll.
So ore's very heavy. Very, very, very heavy. So you can only farm so much until you are encumbered, and it makes it an absolute arsehole to go back to your base and constantly run forwards and backwards. Luckily, all the deposits that I found are quite close to my base, but still made it a ball ache to drag shit. But what you can do to counteract this is build a cart, and it is literally just a shopping trolley basically that attaches to your waist, and it can hold quite a decent amount of stuff. What you have to do though, before Ash has given me this tip, is you have to manually stand in the middle of it where you would hook up and interact with it, and then boom, it hooks up onto you, and you can sprint around and you can attack and blah,
like
blah,
a
blah.
donkey. Like a donkey would pull a cart, you're doing the same.
Yeah, you are the fucking donkey, and that fucking thing. It hits absolutely everything it can, tiny rocks, fucking twigs that your physical being doesn't even interact with, but the fucking cart will, and it sends that thing flying, doing backflips and all sorts of shit. And obviously you can't fucking repair it unless you're next to a workbench, so you have to be really fucking careful with where you're taking this thing, because if it starts to get too damaged to move, you have to then build a little base to fucking repair it. And I swear to God, it was the most fucking stressful thing. I tell you what, let me pause it and have a piss, because this is going to go on for 5 minutes at least. Give me a sec. Okay, where was I?
The cart catching on everything.
Fucking literally everything. Like I say, the drag from my base to these deposits was not that far, but it was far enough. I had to traverse a fucking river. I did not know if you could be attached to the cart and swim. Turns out you can.
Nice.
I had to go up mountains. Fucking there's enemies everywhere. You try to fucking spear something while you've got a cart attached to you. Fuck me, it's so annoying. But what I've been doing is I'd already scouted it a couple of times before I made the cart, and I mark everything on my map, all the deposits, absolutely everything, the caves, all sorts of shit. So I know where everything is. So I knew exactly where all these deposits were. And I made it to the first deposit, which was a copper deposit. And boom, the light disappears. It's nighttime. Now in this game, when it's nighttime, the spawns are a lot more frequent and there's fucking enemies everywhere. So I messaged Ash about this because I was getting so annoyed about it. I was getting about 8 swings of a pickaxe in, boom, 10 enemies straight away. So I had to kill all of them. They all drop loot. There is no way to toggle off auto loot or not.
There is.
I might have to look in the settings then.
Yeah, on the Xbox it's LB
I'll have
plus
to have a look
left
then.
stick together.
I'll have to have a look, because fuck me, because everything, I'm killing all these enemies. That's not the issue. It's just an annoyance. They can't keep up with me. I'm too powerful. But the shit that they're dropping, I'm trying to fucking pick up this heavy ore, but no, I've got eyeballs and fucking wood in my pockets. It's too much. It's doing my head in. So I got to fucking kill all these enemies, get rid of all their shit, pick up the ore, mine some more ore, more enemies turn up. I've got to kill them, rinse and repeat, right? At the same time, they're bashing in my fucking cart, so I've got to sort that out. I lost it at one point because it's so fucking dark and I don't have a torch on me. And then eventually, ladies and gentlemen, what happened is I filled that fucking cart because I made multiple pickaxes. Right, because I made the first mistake of going there with one pickaxe, and naturally it broke after 30 seconds. So I made about 10 of them. So I went there and I had all my pickaxes, and I got as much as I fucking could. And then what happened was daytime. So I was like, great, this is fantastic. Just in time for the journey home. All the enemies are fucked off. They're still knocking around, but there ain't nearly as many. So I thought this will be all right. So I put the cart on. What do? Hit a rock. Flipped upside down straight away. So I spent 5 minutes trying to flip that fucker up, because there is no button that you can press to just auto flip it. You have to fucking piss around with it. I was like, I'm not losing this cart. I'd quickly pulled out my repair hammer, even though I couldn't do anything, just to check the state of the cart. It was not good. It's about a quarter of its fucking life left. So I was like, I swear to God, if this cart breaks before I get back to my base, I'm going to be fuming. So I reattach it, and then I get about 2/3 of the way home. Right? I know this area. I've scouted it many times. I know exactly what's here. I've marked it all. I know what the crack is, right? Anyway, I get to this certain point where the river is. I've had to go down a hill. I hear stomping. Big old fucking footsteps. And I turn around. There's a fucking troll mid-swing right behind my cart. Before I can disconnect, it sends me over the fucking river, right? My cart is in the water. It's in the water. Not poking out. It's in it. Right, I don't know what the fucking... I didn't know what the protocol was for if the cart's full when it's in the fucking water. So I'm annoyed. I'm pissed off because I've just spent all this time doing that and it's been banged in the fucking water, right? So now I've got to deal with this troll. I'm with the cart as well, by the way. It hasn't disconnected me. I'm in the water with it, right? So I've got to disconnect. This was before I knew the rolling technique. So on the laptop, you have to look at the fucking little bars on it and press E. And they're only very small bars. So it's very easy, very difficult to do it quickly, right? So I've done that. I've disconnected, all whilst I'm trying to get away from this troll. And then a battle ensued. It was like it was night time again. Suddenly there's all these fucking enemies that have come out of the woodwork whilst I'm trying to deal with this fucking troll. And then after about 5 minutes, I do kill the troll, right? And then I go and check up on the cart. I've lost it. I've been fighting the troll for that long, traversing so much different shit because I've got to keep my stamina up and still roll and dodge this fucking cunt that I've lost my cart, right? So another 10 minutes searching around, I find it. I find it in the water, and sure enough, you can just go and reattach. So I did. I reattached, and then back home to my base, and then happy as Larry. And then I messaged you and I was like, I can make all this shit because I've finally got enough, blah, 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 blah. But that was the most single stressful thing. And I've beaten Melania on Elden Ring. All right? Ash has even heard that one. This was more stressful than that.
I watched it.
It was fucking unbelievable. The fear that... I'm not scared of trolls anymore. If they pop up, I'm not bothered because I know how easy they are to kill now. But when you are attached to a cart that is filled to the brim of ore that you desperately need... and you've now got to defend that and yourself amongst a ton of enemies and a troll.
Also, that ore ain't coming back. I don't know if it respawns after like 60 days or whatever, but you go back to that copper deposit. That copper, what you've mined is gone. So if you lose all that, you can't just go back to all the copper you've
It
got.
does respawn, but I can't remember the exact
It ain't soon, because all the stuff I've... I'm on
quick.
day 60 and all the stuff I've mined ain't come back.
Yeah. Oh...
So yeah, that's Valheim. Really,
you need
great.
friends. I think it's one of those games where it's fantastic when you're playing solo, but if you really want to get to the nitty and gritty of it, you need pals to fucking jump in with.
Yeah, I need you to help me build this swamp base.
I'm almost tempted to just sack off my shit and then just fucking piss around in your server.
Yeah,
because I feel like it would be more fun for that, because we could still do bosses. Because the beauty of it is I don't know how many bosses, but there are bosses in this game. But once you kill it, you can go back and kill it again. You have to spawn them from altars. And there's more than one altar for every boss. Because I've already killed the first boss twice. So it's not even like I've missed out on anything, because we can go back and do it again.
Well, we still got to help you kill the second boss, on your server.
Indeed.
Plus you owe me some fucking bronze. I mean, you've got a full bronze set. I've only got a bronze.
I ain't got a full bronze set. I ain't got the helmet.
Well, I've only got the bronze shield.
I don't owe you fuck all bronze. I didn't take any of your bronze.
But everything, you wouldn't have built that stuff if it weren't for me. I was giving you circling cores. I was giving you fucking all sorts of shit. Skeleton bones.
No. You didn't give me any circling cores. I never got any.
Fucking
I sorted all of that on my own.
You thieved everything.
And that, you want to know something? That bone shield, don't even use it.
You just put it on the wall, didn't
you? Don't even fucking use it.
Put it up
that
on
thing
the wall.
is an ornament now.
Yeah.
I didn't like it because the shield that I had, you can parry and it stuns them. And then makes them more vulnerable. But that bone shield, it reduced your movement speed by 20%. And when you parried, it didn't stun them. It just pushed them away. So I would then have to waste even more stamina running over to them to attack them. And it didn't put them in a stunned state either. It just pushed them away. So I was like, this is of no use to me.
I've seen some interesting builds. I saw someone yesterday. I watched a 15-minute video of a guy making an entire mine.
Nice.
He's got a bridge that goes across a fully working... I don't know how he does it. It's genius. And another cool building thing I've seen people do is put moats around their builds. Very cool. And another tip is to, you can terrain manipulate. So you can, like, in state land, so they're putting, like, terrain round their place.
Yeah, so because it's indestructible. Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff that you could do. Like some of the builds, I haven't looked into too many because I don't want to spoil it. I don't know what the end game is. I don't know what the end gear is, and I don't want to know. I want to discover it for myself. Because there's nothing more exciting than when I found that that iron ore for the first time, and I ran back. Oh, what's going to be in it? What's going to be in it? So I had to go and build a smelter and stuff. As soon as I smelted one iron bar, I picked it up, and then all the crafting recipes started coming. I was like, oh, this new stuff I can make. There's so much stuff. I can make fire pits. I can make prisons.
Yep. I see a real cool geezer wearing like fully dripped out like wolf style gear, and he had 2 daggers, and he was like, it wasn't a boss, but it was a very big enemy, and it was basically a one-shot attack, and he had both his daggers, and obviously the special ability, you jump in the air, don't you? And this geezer with 2 daggers, he jumped in both arms back and then just stabbed this fucker in the ground, and it just went poof, and it come up like 2,000 something damage. I was like, what the fuck?
I wanna go out and farm some more of that barnacles, because I want to make one of them abyssal daggers, I think they're called.
Yeah.
And
I was watching a guy kept calling it Absol.
Oh, that's painful.
An Absol dagger. Fuck off, man.
And there's like sea serpents. Luckily, we didn't come across any of them. But I saw some guy come across a sea serpent. They're difficult. He said you could just about manage to kill them before they destroy a carve. But you have to be good with a bow. But when you kill them, all their loot sinks to the bottom of the ocean. So there's a way to get their loot. You have to craft a harpoon, and you have to harpoon them and drag them to land, then kill them, and then loot them.
Yeah, I saw.
This game is deep, man.
The guy that I was watching that was talking about that said that you sort of need 2 people, and one person to harpoon it on, and another person to just bang it with arrows. And then another thing, so you can't dive into water in this game, but what you can do is build a ladder. The higher you are, the deeper you will go when you jump into the water.
I saw that.
If you lose anything, you got to fucking try and build something. The building mechanics I need to get better at, like the actual building, because there's a lot of shit where like I would really love to tear my base down and start again, but I wouldn't be able to hold all the gear, so it would kind of do my head in a bit. But I can't put a roof on mine. I've made it too wide, too high before I can actually do anything. I need to sort of build small buildings and stuff first, rather than
architecturally. I'm not smart, so it's very difficult to like know where to put the beams. And
I've seen some fucking mega bases, like some guy that built an entire underground bit underneath like one of the last bosses, and he was like, apparently like it's the safest place to be, and it's an entire fucking area with all stacked up inventory boxes and shit.
Nice.
Like, what the fuck? Like this shit's
one of my funny
crazy.
deaths came yesterday while I was trying to build a second base. I had done what you just said. I was trying to put the roof on, and I built up loads of ladders, like stairways and stuff. So I was at the top of this, just fucking banging away, trying to put like little posts in and stuff. And I was like, what the fuck is that? Looked down a little bit too late. There was a Draugr just smashing the bottom of the ladder. And by the time I realised, the ladder had fucking snapped at the bottom. Then it goes, psh, 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 all the pieces of the ladder fall. I just watched it exploding as I fall to my death with my 25 health.
That's great.
I mean, but I laughed. I thought that's very humorous, and I
funny.
didn't spawn far away. But had I been miles away, I'd have been very upset. But I was just trying to build, man.
Yeah,
trying to build.
I think I might actually take the time, and because you lose so much time. I can see how people put thousands of hours into this game, because you spend so much time just living life in this game. You don't have to go. Was it you that was talking to me about it, or was it Steph who was saying that there's a guy who has done the entire thing like without killing any bosses?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think it was Steph then. Steph was telling me that there's a guy who she was watching who didn't have like the pickaxes or anything to mine certain shit, and doesn't have the equipment to do certain stuff. So he was using things like trolls to smash up ore, and was getting hold of the ore from that, and then being able to make stuff from that. So he wasn't actually killing any bosses, and had all this shit because he was just using the things that you had around him. And I find that crazy.
I was seeing tips yesterday. They're saying that to knock down trees, you can knock a tree into
other trees, and then you can replant trees strategically so that when you knock it down, it will have a domino effect. And also with trolls, you know them spikes that you can set up?
Yeah.
You can put them in the ground. This guy built a strip of them, aggroed a troll, and then he said if you build them and then you plough terrain over it to a certain point, it will register to your character as dirt rather than spikes, and it will also register to the troll as dirt rather than the spikes. So when you run through it, the troll will follow you, but because it thinks it's walking over dirt but it isn't, it gets damaged by all the spikes and dies.
Nice.
So you don't even have to fucking attack the thing, you just have to run it through this runway. I was like, little things like that, man, they're just so I want to research loads of shit, but at the same time I don't.
No, you want to discover as much as you can. I've watched like 50 tips for beginners. And,
yeah, so have I.
But I don't want to keep
I kind of already knew them.
Yeah, I don't want to watch too many because I'm like, some of this stuff I want to just discover for myself. I want to find. I don't know what other metals you can find, what armor pieces you can get.
One cool thing, yeah, when it comes to armor and stuff like that, I really haven't looked at a whole lot. One cool building tip that I saw was sitting down. If you sit down while you're building, it gives you a different camera angle, like underneath, basically, for those tricky little bits. And the weather obviously erodes your buildings.
I never knew that.
Only down to half, like 50%. So if you have a wooden structure, you watch it over time, it changes colour. It will go green.
I see that, yeah.
And the durability goes down, but it will never destroy it. It just takes it down to, I think it is 50%. So every now and then you've got to run around and repair it all. But I think rock and metal and shit obviously reacts differently. And if it's covered, it doesn't get fucked up. There's so much shit.
Yeah, it's just a very fun game. It's just very peaceful. I've got my bees making me honey.
Yeah.
And just like chilling by the fire, hearing the old bees at work.
I wish they'd put it on PlayStation, man.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I imagine
think
it
it'd
will
be
eventually.
Real fucking sick. And the fact that, bear in mind, you've been listening to us talk for 46 and a half minutes about Valheim, right? And how in depth we've gone on all the shit that you can do and our own little adventures. This is a game preview. So this doesn't even have a release date yet. This isn't being released yet. This is alpha style shit, man. Like obviously it's got updates and stuff like that, but this isn't. This is not the full game. This is not the final product, and it's already this fucking good. It's great.
Are you glad you gave it a second chance?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. It's fucking. It's just. It's one of those games where, because it's a survival, you are given the reins to do whatever you fucking want to do. And yes, there is a story in terms of boss fights, but I feel like you take your time with it. Everything that I've read so far and what people have been saying is to just take your time. Don't rush anything. Just enjoy the game, because you aren't on a time limit here. You do whatever you want to fucking do. And if you want to go and piss around in someone else's server, you go and do that. It won't have any effect on your game, and you might get some cool shit. The world is your oyster on this one. And I think if you have an Xbox or you have a PC and you are contemplating this game because you've liked what we've said, it's like 13 quid on Steam, or it's free on Game Pass. Mm-hmm. For the sake of 13 quid, if you haven't got Game Pass, I 100% recommend it. And even if you get it on Steam, you can return it. So it's sort of win-win there.
I must say as well, I recommended this game because there's a guy at work called Rich, and he's got an old neighbour and that, and he goes around and sees him, and he's a gamer, but he's an old boy. He plays a lot of games, and I think he's played like Elden Ring and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I recommended this game to him, and Rich told him about it and downloaded it. And Rich ain't a gamer, and I asked him the next day, how did he get on with Valheim? He said it's fucking shit. Graphics are crap. So this is for you. Fuck you, David, because
is that what that's for?
Yeah, fuck you, David, because it's a sick game, and you shouldn't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, but he's got the same viewpoint as I did.
No,
the graphics are shit.
But they're not. That's not a game for graphics.
But even then,
Minecraft graphics are shit. One of the most successful games of all time.
But even then, I take it back. The graphics aren't actually that bad.
Artistic.
When you really delve into the game, when you look at the way the fire moves and the attacks, and when enemies die and what they poof into, like this little smoke or whatever, and the water and things like that, the graphics are. They are not amazing, but it is the art style of the game, and they actually look really nice. The sunset, oh my god, the sun
beautiful.
Belting through the tree line. It look the scenery of it is stunning. for a graphically challenged game to what I used to think it was, but now I think it looks really good. It is really fucking good.
A lot of games like that, they're made like that. One, because they're not a AAA company. They're like an indie company doing it.
Sorry, this game was made by 5 people.
Exactly,
Do you know that?
exactly.
5 people made this game.
It's
Obviously, their team's a bit bigger now, but this game was made by 5 motherfuckers. It's
a
crazy.
passion project. And
Crazy.
things like this, they wouldn't exist if you made it GTA-style realism. Because you wouldn't be able to make the scope of it. I mean, it's procedurally generated just geniusness. While we're on the subject, mulligatawny soup, or as I like to call it, tagliatelle soup, was one of the nicest things I've ever eaten.
What, had you never had it before?
What, mulligatawny? Never heard of it.
Why are you calling it mulligatawny?
Because that's what it's called. Mulligatawny soup.
Not how you fucking spell it.
Well, that's how it's in my head. That's how it is. Mulligatawny soup is delicious. I thank you, Rich, for such a delicious thing. He said, "Have you ever had it?" I said, "No." So he bought me a can. I had it the other day. It was one of the nicest things I've ever eaten. I'm a big soup connoisseur, you see, but normally just vegetable and occasionally tomato. So then he was like, "Well, I'll bring you in another one."
Sorry, I apologise. Mulligatawny. Yeah, sorry, I was thinking about something else.
Carrot and coriander soup he bought in.
Sorry, are you not versed in soups?
He bought it home. He don't live with me. He bought it into work. He said, "Here, it's a carrot and coriander soup." I took it home yesterday, put a bit in my mouth, spat it back in a bowl. That shit's disgusting. Disgusting.
What's this?
Carrot and coriander. Woof.
You don't like carrot and coriander?
No, I traded dinners with Jem. That's how disgusting
Carrot
it was.
and coriander is not for everyone, and it depends if it has cream in it as well. That makes a big
gross.
difference.
It just tasted like dirty water.
You was expecting it to be like tomato, weren't you?
No, I wasn't. I was expecting it to taste sweet. Not that I wanted it to be sweet. And I like coriander. I like spices. I like herbs. I like all that. It looked tasty. And it was lumpy as well. It just tasted like shit.
It might have just been a bad soup. So you don't have soups all that often?
I always eat soup, vegetable soup though. I don't fuck
just
about.
vegetable.
Just because I love vegetables.
You ever had chicken soup? Chicken soup.
Yeah, I don't like the colour. It freaks me out.
Yeah, but have you ever had it?
Yeah, it's disgusting.
You don't like chicken soup?
No, because I look at it and I go, "Ugh." It doesn't matter what it tastes like.
What about mushroom soup?
I don't like mushrooms.
Yeah, but this is different.
Did you know that mushrooms,
I don't like
the
mushrooms.
1-up mushroom in Mario, is born from dead Marios? Every time a
that's
Mario
grim.
dies, the mushroom grows and comes out, and it's a dead Mario.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that's cool. Last thing, B movie, worst film I've ever seen. Fuck you, Rich. I knew that anyway, but he keeps recommending it to everybody. It's just shit. Oh, he's like gave me a list of things that he wanted me to say, and yeah,
I've seen B-movie before.
Shit.
And I'm with you on that one.
Rubbish.
It's fucking awful.
It's like a terrible fucking ant's life or bug's life or whatever.
Ain't
Just
good.
wank, man. What a crappy film.
I did wonder why you sent me that list.
Yeah. What? Lol. I don't get it. You don't need to.
Yeah.
K.
I understand now.
K with a full stop, trying to be like me, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I
Trying to
understand.
be
I
rude and
understand that
abrupt.
list. I can't believe you aren't versed in soups. You need to branch out more. Vegetable soup
I am trying.
Vegetable soup
It's
is
the
one
goat.
of the most boring soups you will
it's the
ever
goat.
experience. There was this soup I used to get from Asda, and it was oh fucking hell, what was it? Like Mexican chicken soup or something, and he had chicken chunks in it, and it was like a tomato-based soup. It was so spicy and nice, man. There's so many soups that are fucking banging. You need to branch out more. But carrot and coriander ain't your cup of tea. Stay away from it.
If you bought a packet of 4 donuts from Sainsbury's,
Yeah.
and you just bought them, they're just there.
Yeah.
How many would you eat in one sitting?
I could. Well, me and Mark have both banged the whole pack individually in one sitting.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But I could not. I wouldn't. Something's wrong if I'm only having one.
Oh well, yeah, exactly.
I'm
That's
having
my
probably
point.
2, maybe 3.
There's a podcast I haven't listened to yet, but I've seen clips of it, and they were getting on this geezer's case because he says he'll eat, like, his go-to's probably 3 donuts, and they're like, I have 1 and I regret it, and I'm like, what?
Who has 1 and regrets it?
It's saying sometimes they can only manage half.
What?
That's what I mean. I'm like, I presumed it was the norm to bang 2 or 3.
Who's having half a donut?
Exactly.
Get fucked.
They're the weird ones.
Yeah, if you're having half a donut, you go fuck yourself.
Everyone that I've asked is on our side.
That's ridiculous. Question is, what would you have in the donuts? Right, so I'll give you the 3 listings. You've either got your standard your sugared ring,
Oh, I love a sugared ring.
raspberry filled,
Love a raspberry.
custard filled,
Get in a bin.
or chocolate filled.
Yeah.
Have you had the chocolate filled ones from BP garages?
Yeah.
Oh, they're fucking something else, man.
Yeah.
They're something else, and they change them now so the dough's actually chocolate as well.
They put something in them that makes my tooth hurt.
Something crazy. Yeah, that's called needing a filling.
Oh yeah, I know. That's called I ain't going to the dentist until I'm in agony.
Bro, I prefer custard, you know.
That is the worst.
No, it's the best one.
Disgusting.
No.
That's what I imagine. I don't want to get too dark here and too grim. So any ladies listening, cover your ears. But you're probably the only ones that will be able to answer this. That's what I imagine the consistency of spunk is like. When you put a custard donut in your mouth and it squirts that cold, gloopy liquid in, that's what I imagine. That yuck. Woof.
If my own cum is tasting like custard, I'm sucking my own dick. If I'm coming out custard, I'm having some of it.
Oh, fuck's sake. Well, it's just the consistency.
It's the old explicit marker on this episode.
I don't like cold stuff that's supposed to be hot or is normally eaten hot. I don't like it cold, so that's why I think I don't like custard, because custard to me is supposed to be hot.
See, custard tastes different when it's hot and when it's cold.
I like hot custard. Cold custard.
I used to be exactly like you and only ever eat hot custard. Steph introduced me to cold custard, and I actually think cold custard tastes better.
No, I couldn't. But then I can't really stand on any legs because I can eat cold beans out of tin.
Yeah, Steph does that. It's weird, man.
Yeah,
I can't
dark,
do that.
Yeah.
I can't do that shit. They got to be hot.
Yes, that's what I mean. But I don't eat cold food. I won't eat cold pizza. I won't eat cold nothing.
There's a geezer I work with. He's off at the moment, but his like go-to snack at work would be to bring in a tin of beans. Just sit there and eat a tin of beans.
That's a good guy, man. I can get behind that.
It's so fucking weird.
Oh, it's tasty though.
It's so weird.
Good for you.
Nah, man, I ain't about that life.
No, well, I'm not anymore.
No.
But, yeah, back in the day.
You got to get yourself on the soups, man.
Yeah, I am.
Some fucking
Working
decent ones out there. You're missing out on some
carrot and coriander's knocked me back a bit.
Carrot and coriander ain't for everyone, man. What about mint pea soup?
Yeah, I'll give that a go for sure.
They're tasty.
Anyway, we've been doing this for ages. Shall we move on?
Move on swiftly, eh?
God of War inspired Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin game in the works. So that's something.
Sounds so. That's that one on my 2023 bingo list.
No,
fucking God of War Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
But apparently the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin is actually a comic. So it's based on something of substance. It's not just random.
Yeah.
And it's based, what I read earlier, in a future where Michelangelo is the only living turtle, and he uses all of his other Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle weapons. So he's got all his powers weapons.
Do we know who's making this?
I don't know.
Oh,
I haven't looked into that. I haven't looked that far.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, God of War is going to feel like a God of War kind of game. That's what they're going with, going around the semi-open world.
Cinematic hack and slash.
Yeah, that kind of
combo.
jobby. I mean, I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I hope Master Splinter's in it. I don't know if he is, but he's the GOAT. I mean, yeah, obviously it's going to be a long way away, but still, got
sounds
very
creative
promising. Juices flowing for sure.
Sounds very, very, very promising. That sounds good. I like that. We'll have to find out who's potentially going to be making that one.
Well, I'll look into that while you discuss Gollum.
Santa Monica.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. That'd be sick, to be fair.
Nothing really massive to talk about Gollum, just that it's been delayed on one console. The old Switch. Why it's been delayed, I don't know. They haven't. I don't believe they've specified as to why it's been delayed on Switch. They never normally do.
I personally think that's just going to become the norm now. Now Hogwarts have done it and they got away with it, like in terms of not too much spite. Oh, what have you done? I think people are just going to be like, okay, the Switch is going to come later. That's just the way it is.
This is a weird one for me because I think with Hogwarts Legacy, it's been delayed on the PS4 and the Xbox One, and including the Switch. So with this one, with Gollum, why has it only been the Switch? What is the thing with this one that has meant that it's only the Switch that has incurred a delay? And I can only think it is the docking that holds so much issue with development. But I'm with you on that one. I believe that because the Switch is not branded as a competitor to things like the Xbox and the PlayStation. It's not in the same category. It's not in the same world. Nintendo does its own thing, but also dips its toes into the games that you can play on other consoles. So it's not marketed as a game that you Elden Ring, get it now on the Nintendo Switch. That's not like its main bank is not having the fucking whole player base playing Elden Ring and games like that. It just has the ability to play certain games. And I was thinking, how many games do you allow to have delays for the Switch before you A, beef up the Switch, or B, let your customer base, your player base, be aware that if they want to play these new generation games, they're gonna have to deal with delays on the Switch. Because what do you do? What do you?
I agree.
A new game's announced for the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, and Series
X is the beefy one.
Yeah, sorry. A new game's announced for the PS5 and the Series X, and then it's also announced for the previous generations, including the Switch, with a release date of next year in October. Are you going to say from the announcement that it's going to be a different date for the Switch, or are you going to wait until halfway through and then announce there will be a delay? Like, how is it going to work? Are you just going to keep like not saying that there's delays and wait until the last minute, or are you just going to say, like, as Nintendo, it's coming out on the Switch but later on?
I think it's just going to become more and more common practice that PS4 and Xbox One, if that's the last one, I can't remember, just keeps getting left behind a little bit, and Switch, I think it's going to become more and more frequent because they're going to have to leave them behind at some point. It's just the way it is.
The technological gap is a lot smaller than what it used to be. So the jump from PS3 to PS4 was massive. The difference in those consoles was fucking huge. The jump from PS4 to PS5, not so much. Especially the PS4 Pro, from that to the PS5, technologically, is not massive. It's still big. It's still a big leap, but it isn't astronomical. So for having a PS5 on day one, you did not fucking need it. You still don't need a PS5 right now. There ain't enough PS5 only games. If you're listening and you're really struggling to get hold of a PS5, don't stress about it. Honestly, if your PS4 or whatever you're using is working, don't worry, because you don't need a PS5 at the moment. There is not enough to warrant having one. You're not missing out on anything. But so the gap between the last generation and this generation of consoles isn't nearly as big. However, the PS5 and the Xbox Series X are still being held back by those previous generations when it comes to game development. Because you imagine Santa Monica come out on their own back and said that God of War was held back because of the PS4, which of course it would be, because you've made a game for the PS5 and you've now got to go back and make sure that game will run on the PS4. So you have to not overhaul it, but definitely change certain aspects of it to make it run, which is time and money that could have been spent on the PS5 version, beefing that motherfucker up. Like I said to Steph, if you look at Unreal Engine 5, how crazy that engine is, the capability of that engine. You make a game that will push the PS5 to its limits because it is beefy enough for it. You then decide that you want that on the PS4. You're going to have to... The time and effort involved in doing that is incredible. So I'm with you at some point. I don't think it's going to be soon, because if it were profitable to leave the last generations behind, they'd already be doing it. Because that's what a lot of companies care about now, is profit margins. So if it isn't profitable, if it was profitable, it would already be done. So it's not happening anytime soon, but it is becoming more and more frequent, these delays and these issues with developers on having to you go as fast as your slowest person. So and we are going as fast as the PS4 can go, which is annoying.
Have you seen Fortnite now?
Oh yeah, I know.
Look at this. This is Fortnite, right? And they're doing Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
This is Fortnite. This is real in-game. That's in-game.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh yeah, it's cool.
This is what we're looking at with Unreal Engine. This is a creative tool. Someone made this in-game. That's made in game.
Yeah, my TikTok's filled with them.
It's mental.
Yeah.
The games are going batshit crazy.
The capability of that.
It's nuts.
And there's a limit, though. There is a limit to that, as
There's no limit,
with
no.
a lot of shit in that. The graphics can only reach a certain point, and your eyes won't be able to fucking deal with any better. But it is getting fucking silly. Unreal Engine 5 is something else, man. That shit is fucking mega.
We ain't even seen the start of that shit yet.
It's fucking crazy. And then you got a PS5 that can run 8K, but there's no games that can run that yet. The tellies for 8K are too expensive. So you imagine you got an 8K setup and games that are 8K. That shit's gonna look fucking mental. I can't wait for it. But yeah, eventually, in the next couple of years, the previous generation will get left behind. And
I think it's coming sooner than that, because it's been 2-3 years since PS5 and Series X have come out, and normally the generation would have been the gap would have been bridged a little bit by now, but because of shortages and COVID and stuff, it's been extended.
And what happens with the Nintendo Switch, I don't know, because that's a different entity itself.
It's an enigma of its own. That
it's a different console. I think obviously you've got things like the Steam Deck, and then there's other rivals to the Steam Deck. I can't remember the names exactly, so I won't try and butcher it. But you have the Nintendo Switch, extremely good at battery life. You have the Steam Deck, extremely good graphically, battery life is awful. There must be a happy medium for those two things to be fucking pushed together. The Steam Deck is heavy, it's big. The Switch is light, it's smaller than the Steam Deck. It lasts longer. Graphically, it cannot keep up with the Steam Deck. Hardware is better in the Steam Deck than it is in the Switch, but the Switch is way more user-friendly. So Nintendo, there must be a way for them to take inspiration from Valve and have a beefed up version. I feel like if Nintendo want to continue in the market of being able to play the same games that you can on other consoles, but not make that their main thing, I don't think a customer base will be happy with having to deal with 6, 7, 8 month delays for a game. You see, what would you rather have? Another console come out that's going to cost you another 300-400 quid, but the same games that are coming out on a PS5, you'll be able to play them on the Switch.
The thing is, with the Switch, I don't want to be disrespectful to anyone here, but I think if people that have only got a Nintendo Switch are people that are happy to just have a Nintendo Switch. People that have got PlayStations
are just happy to have a PlayStation.
Yeah, but they might have a Nintendo Switch as well. Like if you're going to pick a console and you just pick a Nintendo Switch, I think you're either a child. No, I'm not being rude, or because this isn't meant to be rude, or you like the games that are on there already because they are Mario, Zelda, and they've got very unique games and they're great at what they do, but you're happy to have that.
Nintendo have their demographic, they have their target audience,
what I'm trying to say.
And they execute it extremely well.
So I don't think people are going to be too fussed, whereas people that want Harry Potter probably won't just have a Nintendo Switch.
Nintendo is not. If the Nintendo Switch was designed and Nintendo's idea was to run the exact same games that you can run on any other console, it would already be doing it, and that would be that. Obviously, that is not the intention of the Nintendo Switch. It is an innovative console and runs, like we say, a different enigma to fucking PlayStation, Xbox, or the PC fucking whatevers. But I just think it's a weird one because it can run certain games for different consoles.
How the fuck can it run The Witcher, man? That's massive. I'm not being funny. No Man's Sky on there as well. But the Nintendo Switch and just Nintendo in general, they're geniuses. They know exactly what they're doing. They've got the best-selling console this generation and last generation. Nintendo Switch outsold them all. Be that helped by COVID or not, it's still massive. They know they don't need to pander to anyone's thing because they'll do what they want. And if something don't work, it don't work. But they will keep doing it the way they want to do it.
They do what they want and they do it well. It would just be nice that it's just there has to be another iteration. There has to be something.
I'd love a Nintendo Switch that was like as powerful as a PlayStation 5 or Xbox or a PC. I'd love it because what you could do with Pokemon on that or Zelda on that would be nuts. Can't tell me that Zelda Tears of the Kingdom isn't going to be held back by a Nintendo Switch.
What you've got is things like the Steam Deck, obviously the hardware in them is mega for what it is, but because of that, as I previously said, it's heavy. The fan noise is loud. For a child, the Steam Deck is not user friendly. It's not a kid's console. And for the Nintendo Switch, it is a lot more streamlined. It isn't loud. It is easy to hold. It is more maneuverable. The battery life lasts a lot longer. So the technology is there, but being able to incorporate that into a handheld device that holds the same sort of quality of life as the Nintendo Switch, it just isn't there yet. You can't have a Steam Deck. You can't have a Nintendo Switch version of a Steam Deck as powerful without taking away some of the quality of life and the how it sounds and runs and things like that. You just can't do it yet. But I feel like Nintendo is the company that would be able to do that.
Yeah, like I say, with the Nintendo Switch, I think what I'm trying to say is, if you're going to buy one console, you're buying Nintendo Switch for the games that you know that they're going to pump out. You're not buying a Nintendo Switch thinking, I wonder if Harry Potter might come out on this or GTA might come out on this. You're buying it because you know Mario's coming out, you know Pokemon's coming out, you know Zelda's coming out, you know that Nintendo make the games that you like. If you're like me, you'll have a PlayStation or an Xbox because of certain games, and you'll have a Nintendo Switch because you're a massive gamer, you're a nerd, and you like Pokemon, Zelda, and all that, and you can only get them on that. If you're buying just a Nintendo Switch, I believe, as I say, you're either a child that likes them games, or parents see that as a more child-friendly console, which it is, or you're on the move a lot, and you got a lot of downtime to play. Or you can free up the telly for your partner so they can think while you can play your games.
And then don't forget, we're in a different world as well. You go over to places like China.
Oh yeah, Japan's
Xenoblade
nuts.
Chronicles.
It's huge.
That game's fucking massive. Splatoon, massive Nintendo exclusive games that we don't even fucking know about. You know what I mean? We aren't in that world. So although it may sound like we're talking down on the Switch, we definitely aren't, and understand that this console is fucking huge, massive. It's just I, for one, am not in that world. Obviously, I get involved with it quite a bit because of Steph. She's definitely taught me a hell of a lot about the Switch and Nintendo as a company. But I just would love to see, and I feel like it is inevitable that they will have to have a bulkier version of whatever it be. You can't just have the Nintendo Switch as it is and then that's it. Whether they bring out another console entirely, there will be something, and I'm excited for that to see what it is, because it will be something.
The Nintendo Switch is good at what it does, and as I say, if there's games like The Witcher coming out and stuff, that's all good, Doom and all that. But if you've got a PlayStation, Xbox and a Nintendo, or one or the other, and The Witcher comes out, you're not going to buy The Witcher for the Switch, because it's not going to run very well, or as well as the console, unless you're happy to play it like running around. If Doom comes out and you've got the choice, you're going to buy it unless you want to play it on your handheld mode. You're not going to choose to buy it on the Switch. You know? And like I say, unless you are going to sit around playing it, but for me, I like playing games. There's certain games I can play handheld, but I wouldn't want to play a massive RPG like on a little handheld. I'd want to play that on the telly or a monitor.
Yeah.
So like I say, but then there's different strokes for different folks. Everyone's different. I love the Switch. I think it's fantastic. But we need to wrap this up. But I need a piss, and we've been going on for fucking ages. We haven't even fucking took the piss out. We've had a really serious podcast. This has been a serious...
Bums, willies and poo-poo. And lots of little things and goo-goo gagas and all that type of shit.
Cunt.
There's a fucking silliness.
Bollocks.
To be fair, the first minute of this episode I said the word cunt.
Bollocks,
We've said cunt more times in this episode than the entire pod.
Yeah, and fuck you, Rich, because he said he put the podcast on the other day and you said, hello, cunts, and he turned it straight off.
Why?
I don't know. Considering he drops the cunt...
Is he the one that kicked off because we were swearing in front of his kids?
No, he just says it's too much swearing, but the kids definitely don't listen to us.
That's why it's marked as fucking explicit, Rich. If you don't want to listen to it, lad, then don't fucking listen.
He doesn't even let his kids have McDonald's.
Why?
I don't know.
Why? What for?
Because he just feeds them apples and pears and stuff.
To be fair, that's probably way more beneficial for the children.
Great. It's 100%
But
great.
let the kids have a triple cheese, man.
Yeah,
Come
triple cheeseburger's the goat.
They're fucking sick.
Oh, they're the best burgers.
I haven't had a McDonald's for a while, man.
It's the only thing I like now from McDonald's. I'm on nights for the next 2 weeks, and we always have a triple cheeseburger every night.
Banging that triple cheese.
I have one every night.
I'm pissed off that it isn't in a meal though. You have to buy it all separately. But fuck it, it's worth it.
Fuck it, I need a piss.
Right, see you later.
Oh,